Welcome to the Black Estate Podcast, where real estate, business, and culture effortlessly come together. I'm your host, Tanisha Williams, and this is the place where we explore the journeys that build legacies. Expect conversations with a natural flow, sharp insights, and all the real talk that makes the Black Estate more than just a magazine. It's a movement. Let's dive in. Good afternoon. The Black Estate Magazine podcast is back. Tanisha Williams, your host, and I am here today with a very special guest. I'm here with Katina Collins. She's the Associate Pastor of Thy Kingdom Come International Church, and she's here to tell us about a very special event that she is getting ready to host in October. It's October the 11th, right?
Yes.
It's the iReferHer conference. It's a 3-day conference. It's for women that are in business, and it's going to be an amazing opportunity for us to come together, for us to create community, to share our stories, our successes, and our resources. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm super excited to have her here. She also does some really important work in the community that we are also going to touch on today. So Katina, thank you so much for making the time to be here with us today. I know that you are a very busy woman and you have a lot of amazing things going on. Can we first talk about your ministry and how you were first called into ministry and what your journey has looked like as an associate pastor with Thy Kingdom Come International?
Absolutely. Well, first I want to say thank you for having me today. I'm super excited as well to be here with you. You're an amazing woman, and so to be sitting at this platform is wonderful. So when I think about my journey in ministry, really it began when I was a young woman. Grew up at Antioch Missionary Baptist Church right here in Portland, Oregon.
Okay, so you are a Portland native. Nice.
Yes, by way of San Francisco to Portland. But I was the young girl when we came, and I found myself at that age and at Antioch sitting under the deaconesses, sitting under the missionaries that were going into the field and visiting the nursing homes and learning how to serve communion, right, as a young lady. And then as I would get married at 21, actually, when I got married, yes. And then my husband and I entered into a gospel music ministry where we traveled the country singing at that time with Minister Lonnie Hosley and the Heaven Bound Choir. And so then
I've been to several of their concerts, their Christmas events that they've done. Yes.
So you are familiar. And so then as we would, the Lord would have it, that time Minister Hosley was then called into the ministry, became elder, and then they launched out, and we launched with them to establish the Heaven Bound Deliverance Center. So we were with them for 18 to 20 years. And at that time, then we began to work in missionary. I went from a deaconess to missionary. And then 7 years ago, transitioned. The Lord called my husband and I to transition to Thy Kingdom Come with Pastor Valina Tyler.
And shout out to Pastor Valina Tyler. She's an amazing woman.
She is. And we're so grateful, right, that we're under her. And as I started there with them, my husband serves the men. I have been serving the women as the women's ministry supervisor. And a year ago, we were on the path, right? In that, a year ago, then was ordained as the associate pastor. So it's been a journey, and I wouldn't trade it anything for the world.
I love that. So what fuels your passion for women's ministry, and how has your faith shaped your mission?
Oh my goodness. So women's ministry has always just fueled me because I came from a family, watching my mother struggle, right? Being a woman that suffered domestic violence and being a child in that. And I did not want women to have to experience that. I didn't want children to have to experience that. And so anything that I could do to help someone elevate, right? To help pull someone out of the situation that they were in and lead them to Jesus. Because when I got led to Jesus, everything changed, right? Perspective changed, and the love that I receive from him is what fuels me to move forward and reach and touch as many women as I can.
How do you approach working with women in recovery? I know that you do a lot of outreach work, and that you do work with women that are in recovery, women that have been sex trafficked, people that are unhoused.
Yes.
What are those experiences like working with those people, and how is your approach to working with those people?
Good question. So really, it is with gentleness, kindness, and passion, and understanding. My work with the VA and mental health has helped me to navigate, and then just the work with women that have been in those situations. I've been homeless myself, so having the experiences as well really helped me.
To be able to relate with them as well.
Absolutely. There's no judgment, right, in working with them, and then understanding every woman is different. And so when I approach it, it's you are a new person, right? And I see you, right? You're not a number, but you are a human being that I want to understand, where they are. And then after I understand, we can identify what resources, we can identify, what classes perhaps we need to get them into. And then sometimes, are they even ready to move into recovery? I have a daughter that is 30 years old, and unfortunately, because of how available drugs are in our community, she now suffers with drug-induced schizophrenia. And so she's on the street. So I have a daughter that I see in some of the women that I minister with.
Firsthand, experience in dealing with that and knowing what the parents go through.
Yes.
I've dealt with a parent that has suffered from addiction, so I definitely understand how hard that is. I've been blessed that my kids haven't had any issues like that.
Thank you, God.
But you never know when those issues are going to take place. I do have people in my family, cousins and aunties that have suffered, and so I love how you stayed in it. A lot of people are like, okay, well, that's over there, and I'm gonna let them deal with it on their own. But dealing with people that are in recovery, it takes really a community and team effort and love.
Yes,
and you got to have that love and patience, because they may not get it right the first or second time. It's a process.
It's true.
What role does spiritual healing play for the communities that you serve?
Because Jesus is my foundation. When I open my heart to Him, He became my source, right? God being my creator, and then walking with the Holy Spirit is really what is my foundation. So I often tell people that I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not going to come and continue to quote scriptures at you, but my life is a life that represents Christ. So whatever comes out of me, it's really the Spirit of God. It is. It really is.
Whether you believe or not,
correct.
I know it's motivating me and pushing me, definitely.
that part, because I feed myself with the Word of God, right? And so as it comes out, He comes out. So whatever they get, they're getting Him. None of me.
And I know how, coming from a situation that I was in years ago, and just not always trusting institutions that came to me that wanted to help. I've always tried to approach things like some of the women and the young people that I've been working with, because I'm definitely a believer. And I know how important that spirituality has been in my life, and how it's gotten me out of really dark situations, But I also know that people come from all walks of life, from different religious backgrounds. I let God be the force that pushes me and guides me, but not let really my religion be the thing that you know what I mean? Because I don't want to convert anybody. I'm not trying to make nobody a believer. But if you see God through me and what I'm doing, then that's good enough for me.
So
absolutely. I love that you have that balance, like you said, not being a Bible thumper, but at the same time letting that light shine through in your works and in your actions.
Because that's what He told us. Right.
And that's the best way. I mean, if people are going to gravitate towards you.
That's why in women's ministry, we reach outside the walls. And so we do things like women's empowerment sessions, where we bring mental health professionals in, or we bring someone in who may be on a journey of weight loss, or how to raise children, right? How to parent. So we really have to learn how to touch the human. And when you touch the human, you're going to reach the soul of the man. And that's how we move and navigate.
Definitely, I love that. I'm working on opening a group home now. I was telling you about that. And the women that I'll be working with will be transitioning back into the community from lockup, from OYA, or coming from prison.
Yes.
And also, just getting them reintegrated back with their families, giving them a home to stay in, giving them workforce training. The spiritual part of that, though, like you said, is a very important part. And I'm not a pastor, a minister. Like I said, I'm a believer. I have family. I grew up in church.
And you evangelize.
Right. And you know what? And there, I do witness in a different way by telling my journey and my story, But I feel like that spiritual aspect is very important. So I will definitely be contacting you and having you come over to minister to these young women and to fellowship with them, because that's something that I know it keeps a lot of them on track. It kept me on track and kept me grounded, and it's something and that love. There's nothing like the love that comes from the love of God and true believers that really want to give that.
And that's the key, the true, right? Because you don't have to have a title. Even if I wasn't pastor wasn't in front of my name, or missionary wasn't in front of my name, when I accepted Jesus, I became a mouthpiece for him. And so whether I was in this position or not, I would continue doing, and that's what you're doing, continue sharing what he did for us. Right? Like the woman at the well.
So what do you say about women that, or even people in general, that believe that there is different types of Christians? For example, there is the Republican Christians, and not to make it political, but there is definitely a different type of Christians.
There are.
And because of those type of Christians that are not really practicing what they're saying that they believe in, and instead of helping and giving to people and making sure that the less fortunate, have what they need, they're taking from them. What would you say to someone that is turned off by Christianity, or turned off from God because there's people that are claiming to be Christians but that aren't really doing the work, and they're actually doing the exact opposite?
So in that, really what I have to pause people and say, it's not religion. It's a relationship. And when you enter relationship with Jesus, your perspective begins to change. When you really enter relationship with someone, you don't know them until you spend time with them. People can tell me about you, but until I have an opportunity to really sit with you and understand who you are, where you come from, I have someone else's perspective. And so I always tell people, you got to get into relationship with him. And here's the thing, if it doesn't look like love, because judgment is not love. Ridicule is not love. That is not Jesus. If you feel like you're being demoralized, if you feel like you're being put down, shunned, that's not Jesus. Because he spent time with the sinner. He spent time with the prostitutes. He spent time with the tax collectors that nobody wanted to deal with. That's love, the sacrifice. So if you see someone sacrificing, you see Jesus. That's love. So that's what I tell people. So if you don't see love in me, you better question me. What's going on?
Now, is there a transformative story from your outreach that still sticks with you today?
Yes. There's actually a recent one. Actually, she's been, I think, a part of the ministry for a little over a year now. Beautiful sister, when she was invited by someone just to come, and she was still in her addiction. She's actually a nurse, and she hit a place, lost a child, and moved into addiction. And when she came to us, she left different, She heard the word, left, and ended up having a heart attack. And heart attack from using, and so following that, she stayed consistent. She would get connected, we would talk, get her into all the things that she needed to be into, and she stayed connected. And that's the thing, with relationship building. Staying connected. And so then you fast forward a year and a half, doing very well, clean and sober. She actually is now a peer support at a facility that actually has the tiny houses, and is witnessing and
I actually know the guy that's doing the tiny houses.
and I think Reedway is who she's working with and we're working with now.
Nice.
So now she's able to give back. So connecting our Matthew 25. So the same place that she was at, now she's serving, and now her church body is serving with her right at this location. And so just to see her thriving, and now she's actually helping another woman who was in her addiction, who had a baby, and she's fostering that baby.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So
and full circle too.
Yes, and that's because we've showed the love,
right.
and walked her through.
Right, and it starts with love. I think that's beautiful, and just hearing how her story came back full circle.
Yeah.
And also lets you know that, I mean, everybody that's in an addiction isn't because they just didn't want to do something with their life
That's
they
right.
wanted to be on that. It's usually trauma or something that's happened in their life that pushes them to addiction. So it's very important to know that we can't cast those people out. Everybody is worth redemption.
That part.
Everybody has the opportunity to change and become something. So I really love that you're doing the work and that you are out there actually connecting with these women and helping to reshape their journey.
Because I was one. Listen,
and we've all been through. We've all been through some things, definitely. Now I'm going to change the topic a little bit because I really want to know about your other work with the veterans.
Oh,
so you have been with Veteran Affairs and Advocacy for over 25 years as a veteran experience officer, and I know you started out as a veterans advocacy advocating for veterans and their family. Can you tell us what led you to that work with Veterans for One?
Yeah. So, you know, when I started with the VA, I always tell people I didn't start out to have a career with the VA. It was an opportunity, and took the opportunity. And I think sometimes we don't realize when we say God guide our path, that when we say that, He really is doing that, and we got to accept where He leads us. My dad was a veteran. And I didn't have a good relationship with my dad. And so it wasn't until I actually started working with the VA and veterans when I began to learn their story, when I began to understand the trauma that they experienced, right? And then I could understand my dad more. And navigating from that, then I understood, I was able to then build a relationship with him because of the veterans. And I began to learn that this is really a mission for me. When I was able to identify first, God helped me forgive. And after forgiving, then I embraced it. I embraced the fact that these men and women needed someone who would advocate for them. I recognized very quickly, working with the chief nurse at the time, that there were some struggles, there were some failures that were taking place, and they didn't have advocates that were helping them. And I dove in. And after diving into the VA, then I really began to understand this is where God placed me. And so I was able to start helping men, women, their children, their caregivers, and then we just advanced from there. And were there times in my early career that were struggles? Absolutely, because I was advocating, and everybody didn't want that to happen.
Right, and advocating, it can be really hard. There's a lot of chains to go up when you're advocating. My father is also a veteran, and you know, he's went through things that I've had to be his advocator and contact the Veteran Administration and trying to get a hold of somebody. In the past was hard. It's became a little bit easier now, but my concern is it going to stay that way? So we'll get into that in here in a little bit. Having worked with these families and working with these veterans, because we do, we have current veterans that are elders, and then we have the young men and women that will be veterans when they come home from these wars and wherever they're deployed from, and they're all suffering with different levels of trauma. And what do you feel is the most pressing needs that our veterans are currently facing?
Oh, there are so many. Because of our aging population that don't have family or extended care. Some of them in the places that they're are now in rural spaces within our communities can't get in. They can't drive anymore. So a lot of our elder veterans are suffering just because they don't have that extended care that they need. And that's one of the things that we're focusing on right now is partnership in our communities. VA is very big on partnership because we know that we can't do everything. So it's important that we connect with community transportation organizations and nonprofit organizations that want to help the veterans. So that's one of the areas that they're struggling. Then our homeless population, we are really giving focus. I served 2 years ago in LA for one of our homeless. It was a new tiny house village, and the VA. We were going out to the street and really trying to find the veterans and help get them into the system, get them connected.
There's so many that have just been out there so long that they've given up hope, and and a lot of them aren't as tech savvy, so they don't know how to make these calls and get online and do all the paperwork, which is now kind of a requirement that they do.
It is.
And like you said, if they don't have family or someone that can help them navigate that, a lot of them just kind of get left out there, and it is it's a huge problem.
It is.
Portland has one of the, I think we're the fourth highest in homelessness in the country, which is sad with us being such a small city.
Yes, and people are constantly coming, veterans and different ones are constantly moving here. And so really, putting effort behind that, and that's one of the efforts that we'll continue, to put finances, that the VA will continue to put finances behind, housing vouchers, but it really is, I call it grassroots, that, you've got to have the staff and not just the social workers and the advocates, but you've got to have community that will carry business cards that is for your local VA. Get to know your veteran service officers, Veterans of Foreign War, American Legion, get to know them so that you can have business cards. So if you see a veteran on the street or you want to go out, you can give them contact information so someone is willing to help them.
I love that. Yeah. Awesome. With the recent political changes, many veteran services are being cut or restructured. What impact are you seeing right now that's already started that you're seeing with the veterans?
A lot of restructuring. One of the things that I think people are not aware of is our community care. Community care has gotten a bad rap. Over the last few years as we were integrating it, just from the mere fact that I think a lot of people within VA didn't necessarily want to send veterans out to the community for their care. And that's not how the VA moves. We have it available. We need to send them out to the community to receive their care. So that is one area that we are restructuring in to make sure that they know they have community care available to them. And then also making sure that we have, again, providers that are willing to work with us. It is a government entity. We are service oriented. So trying to make sure that that's done. I just got a call the other day from Alaska. One of our, a veteran who, a local nonprofit lost funding for their feeding. For their Meals on Wheels.
I've been hearing about that.
And so that's impacting, while that's not a VA issue, it is impacting our veterans, right? Because those nonprofit organizations, they were relying on for some of those services. So I think that really is some of the area that we're seeing that they're going to experience loss in. And when you think about the VA, we really are putting additional finances by, we just, a lot of restructuring within employee staffing that, we're now taking some of those dollars for the 30,000 or more employees that are no longer working with the VA, right, for whether retirement, early retirement. So we're taking those finances and we're going to put them into programs and services for our veterans.
And will some of those finances be going towards nonprofit programs that are assisting and working with vets, or is that all for?
All for care.
Awesome.
All for care, because most of the nonprofit is, they go through the federal for their nonprofit funding, and then we just partner with.
Oh, I see. I see. Awesome. Now, why is it so crucial that veteran programs remain funded and protected?
It's crucial because our veterans served.
Yes.
They already paid for the services, and it was our commitment to care for our veterans,
Right.
for their widows, right,
Family.
and for their families. That's our commitment as a country. And so it's very imperative that we make sure that we're taking care of our veterans, our caregivers, right? That we encourage caregivers to tap into that program, because we want you to be able to care for your veterans. So I think it's very important that we maintain funding.
Are you familiar with Bruce Broussard?
No.
So Bruce Broussard is one of the Buffalo Soldiers, one of the Black Buffalo
okay.
Soldiers, and he does a lot of veteran advocacy here in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
He's ran for office really for like the last 20 years. It's so funny because he told me, he's like, I don't do it to win. I just do it so I can get more influence to be able to do the work that I'm doing with the veterans and to be able to push for more things that they need. He has a podcast that he does called Voters Publication. Something like that, and it's on Portland Access.
Okay.
But so me and him have been, so he developed a housing for veterans several years ago over by the police station that's off of Killingsworth.
Okay.
So he had a 36 unit, I believe, building that he did for veterans, and it was a culturally specific, you know, for veterans, because it's a lot of our veterans that a lot of the time go unserviced.
Correct.
And so me and him are going to be getting together here soon and talking about doing another development for veterans. So I'm definitely going to contact with you.
Please keep me included.
Because we plan to have a community to where we do have nurses that are coming in and checking on them, bringing them food. We don't know where the funding's going to come from yet, but
but that's where community comes in.
Exactly, that's where community comes in, and you know, we definitely need to be taking care of our people, because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to.
That's right.
Now, on that topic, Black veterans have historically been denied full access to benefits like the GI Bill. What impact has this had on our community, would you say?
I think it's had a large community impact. You know, we have the national, there's the National Association of Black Veterans, NABVETS. And, you know, it took them a long time to become nationally recognized as a service organization to help our Black veterans. And so when you think about that and the time it has taken for our veterans just to connect, you know, for a veteran to take the time to file for disability and to get denied without even having an examination, it's a deterrent, right? And so what you then have is the financial aspect that they're not getting. So then they can't pour back into our community. They can't help their families. So that has a major impact. It has an impact on their mental health, on their physical health. And so I think that it has had a major impact, but we are seeing the time.
As well as our generational wealth.
It has.
Definitely has kept a lot of families out of that.
Yes, and for housing, right? Because they didn't know that they even had the ability to get education through the VA, to have home loans.
Right, a lot of them don't know that they can use their VA loans to purchase homes. If you guys are hearing that, you can use your VA to purchase a home, and you can actually buy a duplex or even a fourplex. If you guys want to know more about that, give me a call. You know, I'm your real estate broker as well. But back to this very important topic. What programs do you believe will survive the cuts, and which are most vulnerable right now? Like, what do you see that's probably getting ready to go, and where can we step up at, or where can these programs step up and kind of fill in the gaps?
You know, right now, because our focus has been mental health, I think that one's going to survive. So our housing programs, our you know, any programs that are focused on our traumatic brain injury, our spinal cord, our, you know, anything that is going to deal with their physical being, I think those programs are going to survive. I do. I think that our housing is going to survive. At this point, I don't know which programs.
I know it's still so fresh.
It is, and with the restructuring, I do believe that there is going to be more restructuring, and that we are finding ways to serve differently. So I think that the impact on how they connect with us, and get into the system, how they are gaining information is going to look very different for our veterans. And we're doing a lot more, like you said earlier, with technology. And so really we have a VA chat app that we're rolling out where our veterans can actually get on their phone and communicate with their clinic. Because some of them have been challenged in connecting, right, via voice. So I think some of those programs they're going to see some really great impact from that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know the struggles that my dad has when he's trying to connect, and every time he gets a new phone, it's a whole thing trying to get him, trying to teach him how to work that phone. And he still considers himself somewhat young. He's in his 70s, but you know. So what are there any programs for vets that are trying to navigate technology that will help them navigate where we're getting ready to go?
Yes.
Because a lot of people are going to be, I mean, there's people that know about technology or that are somewhat younger that don't trust ChatGPT or that are afraid to use it.
That's true.
So how do you integrate that into, you know, with the veterans, especially the ones that are older and that are just struggling with technology in general?
That's good. So there's a couple of things. So we have the My Healthy Vet program, and we also have,
and you're the,
I oversee that for our vision, or for our region. And within that, there are multiple things, multiple steps that we take with that. So we also have a resource hub. So, you know, there are different resource centers in within the area that a veteran lives in. And so within that, we offer classes, trainings. They can come in.
Nice. Hear that?
Yeah, you can come in, you can set up appointments. We even have now where you don't have to necessarily even physically come in, but they can do a virtual appointment with you to assist you with, you know, navigation and training. So we're really trying to connect that way. You know, we were so used to, for so many years, having to do face-to-faces, but we realized that our veterans are busy. Right? And because we do have so many rural veterans, we have to offer different options for them. And that's also where the partnering comes in. So service organizations are opening up their doors so we can actually come to them in rural areas and provide some of these trainings as well.
I think that's an amazing idea to actually have somebody go to them.
Yes. Yeah, and they'll even come out, you know, we have at-home care. So if we have to do some wraparound service with the at-home care, then we can have a staff member go with that clinical staff member to go and help serve them. So yeah, we're doing a lot of things that are making it a lot more available. And teaching, education, right, for our veterans.
Awesome, I love that. So it's so important to keep them up on things so they don't get left behind or they don't get caught up in the rigmarole.
Yeah. Well, and knowing that we want to hear their voice too.
Right, definitely.
Right, and that patient advocate side, the veteran experience side is that we send surveys out. So, you know, if patients are caregivers, we try to hit every area. We want to hear from everybody. So if a veteran is getting a survey in an email, we want you to take that survey because
veterans
we want to
open
hear.
up your emails. I know 2 veterans right now that never open up their emails and can't remember their password. So you guys, this is extremely important for your livelihood and for you to keep up on all the technology and how to file the important things that you need to. So please make sure, if you guys are not that tech savvy, that you are connecting with someone, that you're connecting with the resources at the VA.
It's important.
That can help you, that you can learn some of these classes to learn how to navigate all of this new technology, because you will definitely need it.
Yes.
That is just where we are going right now as a society. We are in another process of elevation of they call us the word that I'm looking for.
We're going in the expansion.
Yes, we are expanding. We are elevating. Yes. How can local communities step up to support our Black veterans?
So there's a number of things that they can do. Again, you know, mentioning the food, right, for those veterans who may be low on food. You know, stepping up to become a transporter. You know, transport veterans to appointments. You know, starting a nonprofit where you are a transportation right? You know, finding out, I see people going out and mowing lawns. Well, let's go out and find out what veterans need assistance, right, within the community. I think that that's one way that we can connect, right? Us taking time to sit with those veterans because some of them don't have extended family, right? And helping them to interpret some of the documentation that they're receiving. I think when we think about the education, right, I think that's another one that we could tap into as a community, right? And then just sitting down to find out, do they even have everything prepared? Do they have an end of, I call it, I've been teaching the veterans, an end of life folder?
Right.
Because the VA, we care for you. We help you navigate with your benefits, right? Your housing, all of that. But our responsibility is even to take care of you, your remains at end of life, right? And so there are things that you as veterans have to do that get those things in place and in order. VA covers your stay at a national cemetery. We do the headstone. The only thing VA does not pay for when it comes to the end of life is either the cremation or a coffin. That's the only thing. And so it's important that they have somebody that will sit down with them. So community, get involved in that to make sure that our veterans have every step of their benefits tapped into. And I think people don't even know with the outreach that we have mobile, vans and trailers that allow people to do dermatology appointments. They actually do actual appointments with providers. On these mobile units. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot that we're doing, and even in the losses, we will not stop.
I heard that. So as you guys hear, there are still some really great resources out there for you.
Yeah.
Make sure that you guys are looking into these resources if you need them. As she said, they will come out to you if you need them. I know that they also come out and do cosmetology. I've had them come out. I guess my dad has them come out.
Podiatry, clip nails,
and all that. So make sure, if you guys don't know about these resources, or you have a family member that doesn't know about these resources, that you're educating them, because we all know somebody that's disabled or that's a veteran, and that nobody comes and checks on them.
That's right.
If you're the person that knows them, maybe you should be the person that's going and checking on them. So
and you got a contact name now.
Right, and you got a contact name. So remember Katina Collins. We're also going to be putting the links and the information within the podcast, so you guys will be able to see that. What legislative or policy changes would you like to see that better support the veterans?
Oh my goodness. Really, it's funding. I want to make sure that we are funding our women veteran programs. When we opened up women veteran clinics, that funding was amazing because it gave the women a safe space to go to, right? I would love to see additional funding for long-term care, legislation behind long-term care, because a lot of our veterans that suffer from dementia, right? And the families are struggling to care for them. But when you have a combative veteran that is a flea risk, right? Some of the long-term care facilities can't handle that in the community. So I would like to see more funding behind long-term care and investing into additional, safe spaces for our elder population. And I don't think that we do enough for the elder population.
Definitely don't. Yeah. So that's. If there's anybody that is that is in the government, that's in the has a political position, and you're watching this, that's something that we desperately need. So maybe that'll be on the ballot here soon. Maybe that's something we can advocate for to get that on the ballots. So we're going to shift focus a little bit, and we are going to talk about this amazing conference that you have created and that you are going to be doing, and that you've invited me to be one of the speakers of. You
So
guys, this will
excited.
be an amazing speaking engagement for me,
Yes.
and a chance to share my story and what's motivated me with you guys, and for you
Yes.
guys to hear a bunch of other amazing women speakers and business owners and women of
Yes.
faith that will be there inspiring you.
That's right.
Can you tell us about the iReferHer conference and what
Yes.
inspired it, and what does that name mean to you as far
Yes,
as the iReferHer?
there's a whole lot in that.
Yes.
We're so excited. So, as I mentioned earlier, working with the women at Thy Kingdom Come and just in the community has been amazing, and all throughout my journey, right? The iReferHer really started. It was birthed out. Our pastor was really seeking the Lord about a referral, and so Kingdom Emergence is our business side of the church. So like Kingdom Come, and then we have Kingdom Emergence. And so underneath Kingdom Emergence, we have things like Grow and Discover Youth Travel Program. We have things like Psalms, where we're teaching young people who want to, do music, right? We have a great music minister. Things like BAM, right? Baby and Me, for those, young parents that need, help, right? And then iReferHer, which is a brand, it's a business, it's a referral service. And so Women Rise is what I'm always talking about. And so generally every year I would do a week in the summer weekend where we come together and we would do a retreat. And in that retreat, it was amazing. It was refreshing. It was, renewal, spiritual. And last year, we were closing, and the Lord said, conference. I said, really? And what's that look like? What's that look like? And as we started really praying about that and navigating, what I realized very quickly, and He began to show me my own journey. I didn't get here alone. Right. There were mentors, male and female, along the way. There were mentors in the VA. I remember sitting down with someone, a gentleman, and he said, do you know who's in charge of the VA? He said, do you know who the leadership is? I said, no, I don't. He said, well, if you're going to be here, you need to become invested. Right?
Right.
And then navigating through life, Mother Charlotte Brandon is one I sat under as I was a deaconess coming up in the Church of God in Christ, right? And so I think about the women who mentored me. And so I said, when you think about Women Rise, she's not able to come out of those ashes by herself, right? And so we said we need to collaborate and partner. iReferHer with the conference. That's how we're going to navigate. And that's how we begin to shift into iReferHer. So when you think about that, what that says is, I know you. And I trust that what you offer, what you're going to share, is going to help someone. I trust that you're in spaces that I can refer someone to. And I trust that you're going to handle her well, right? So when you think about iReferHer says, I may not have it all together, but I see something in you that I want to aspire to. So I want to refer. And so this is going to be an amazing conference where we're bringing in business, we're touching the natural side. We got a nurse coming to talk to us about perimenopause. Listen, because we need it.
Conversation that needs to be had.
We need it.
Every woman goes through it at a certain stage of their lives, and there's not enough conversation about it. So I think that's great.
There's not. The other thing I'm excited about with this, which you are our main speaker for, is the Lord gave us resilience.
Yes.
And so that Friday night, we are honoring 12 women. Right now, nominations are open until August 1st, and we want women from everywhere to be nominated. Because when you think about resilience, you think about a woman that has come through great struggle, come through great obstacles. Maybe it's been a woman who has suffered cancer. Maybe she was suffering cancer while her mom was suffering cancer. There's a young woman I've been watching on Facebook for 6 years, almost 7 now. And I've watched her journey from her recovery. She lost her child in the midst of that, just to the foster care system, because she couldn't care for her. So I watched her journey over these 6 years, where she came back from and has been successful in her recovery. She has a different relationship, but she's in the life of her daughter. I've seen her move into the tradeswoman, electrician, right? I watched her come into a space where she was no longer on the system. She was able to now pay her bills herself, right? And she inspired resilience. She inspired it. And so we're encouraging folks to nominate women, right? That don't have it all together, but that you've watched them come through some things, right? And so we want you to use the link that we're going to provide, right? To go and to acknowledge them on that Friday night. So we're starting off with the resilience banquet. Dress up, be beautiful, right? It's open to men and to women, because we want to celebrate everybody, right? All the women on that Friday night, the 10th, at the Sheraton Airport Hotel. And then on that Saturday, we're going to have workshop sessions all day long. We have a self-defense class, which is going to be amazing.
Me and my daughter were just talking about, we were like, well, you know what, we need to do a self-defense class.
Yes, ma'am.
We're in the climate where every woman should know how to protect
Absolutely.
yourself. And
learn some. I've learned some soft skills talking with them, and the self-defense is connected to the topic of battle armor. So we're going to deal with the natural, right? Deal with the spiritual, putting that whole armor, and then give you some self-defense. So there's going to be so many topics that are going to be held, and then we're going to tap into the spiritual side. So Saturday night, Pastor Gloria Stidham is the guest speaker. 6:30 that Saturday night, and then on Sunday, we'll kick it off again in the morning with a breakfast, some additional speakers, and then 3:30 closing worship service. And Pastor Valina is going to be the closing speaker. So
again, shout out to Valina.
Yes, so we're just so excited about what we believe God is going to do. There's still vendor spaces open.
Hear that, ladies and gents?
Yes. Absolutely, and we're just looking for the Lord to just bless. He's already given his stamp of approval when he said conference. And so we're just walking as he would guide. Yeah, so I'm calling on my ladies.
Yes. Ladies, you guys hear this? If you guys know someone that has been resilient, someone that has been making great strides in their lives, definitely refer them. And invite them to the conference. I hope to see you guys out there as well. This is just going to be a really great opportunity, again, to create community with other women here in Portland that are into business, that businesses that you can support, businesses that will support your business. And also, again, you guys, the Black Estate magazine. So if you are a business, you'll have a chance to also network with me. We can talk, and I can possibly feature you in the magazine, do a write-up about your business. We are all about elevating each other and providing a platform for us all. When we have something special that we're trying to put out there and that we're doing good, everybody deserves to see that. So I love that.
Thank you.
Now, how does iReferHer help to foster a real network of women supporting women?
Yes. So iReferHer, because it's not going to just stop here, right, at the conference. This is just the launch of iReferHer. So one of the things that we have on the website for iReferHer is what I call a resource hub. So businesses, women's businesses, I always think about those moments that you're in where you need a resource and you don't really know where to go. I want someone, again, who would refer them to me. So we have a resource hub, and what I really believe is going to happen is, as we're building this on purpose, we are being intentional, that these women that we're connecting to, that we're going to build this hub, we're going to build this extension, we're going to build this community, because they're coming from everywhere, right? And not just within our Black community, but our indigenous, our native, like we're trying to reach everybody, right, that are the Latino. We want to reach everybody for this space so that we can see each other, right? The mentorships. And so that's part of how we are looking to build and break down barriers,
Yes.
right? That I don't see you as competition. I see you as one that I can collaborate with and you
Exactly.
can complete, right? Help complete
Right.
some of the things that we're doing. So that's how we're building this community, that we're not competition. Even if we do the same thing, you don't do it like I do it.
Right.
Right?
Everybody has their different niche, and we can
Yes.
all elevate each other. And
Together.
right.
And so that's how we're looking to build this.
I think that's amazing, especially again, I keep talking about the climate that we're in now, because there are so many changes that are being made that it is
Yes.
affecting specifically women's
It is.
businesses. I mean,
Yes.
literally things are getting pulled off of the shelves because they're women owned
Yep.
and considered DEI. So
Yep.
we are really in a space now where we need to be supporting each other's
Yes.
businesses.
Yes.
And not just for ourselves, but for our economy.
Yes.
And to be able to stay successful and to be able to feed our families.
That's
So it's
right.
going to take us really supporting each other. So
Yeah.
again, I definitely hope to see you guys out there.
Yes.
Also, what kind of business or businesses or leaders will be represented? And I know you said there's going to be a full different
Yes.
spectrum. Can you tell us a few of them?
Yes. So, you're going to have you've got nurses. There's a florist,
Nice,
and I want to say it's uniquely florist. I don't have all of them off the top. We've got florists. We've got women that are naturopathic that
Nice.
will be having some of their wares there. You've got nurses, doctors, mental health providers that will be in the space. You've got magazine writers that will be in the space. You've got authors. You'll have some women that will be sharing their books that will be in this space. There's so
much
many.
opportunity
Oh
to
my
network.
gosh,
This
yeah.
sounds so amazing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm really excited to be attending this. And I hope you guys are excited to be attending as
Yes,
well.
I am
It's going to be a
also.
great networking space.
And it's not much either, right? So you get the benefit of being in this space. And again, bring your business cards.
Yes,
If
bring your
you're
business
coming,
cards.
bring your business cards. Yes.
Definitely. Now, why is economic empowerment for faith-led and also minority women so important right now?
I think it's important because really that's how we're going to survive.
Right.
Right. I think about, the Proverbs 31 woman, and she was the one going into the marketplace. She was the one that was making sure everybody in her home was taken care of. She was the one that used what she had at her hands, to create. Women are carriers. We were born to be carriers. So if you're a carrier, then you also give birth. Right. And so when you think about all the things that then happen economically right now in these spaces, we've got to be in these spaces. We have to have the opportunities because we're going to cultivate, we're going to incubate, right? And then we're going to birth out. And so I just think that for our faith-based community, if they've never thought about the nonprofit side, now is the time for them to consider the nonprofit. That's why having the business side of TKCIC is so important because people don't have it to just come in. Used to be a day when my mother and them were growing up, they come in, they knew what it meant to tithe. They knew what it meant to give. People don't understand that anymore. And because they've had trust issues, they're not given like that anymore. So you have to have that economic side that's coming in to just help you continue ministry. Right? Because it's kingdom business, but you got to have finances to even do what we do.
Right. Takes money to make money.
It takes money.
Right.
And so I think just the economic side of that is important. And for women, again, we see a lot in this climate. And I see our men coming back and getting into position. I see it. I have one that I stand side by side with, but it's going to continue taking. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes time to turn a big ship, right? And we see it turning, but until they get back, right, we got to help to maintain what we have. And to help forge forward.
Definitely. And as far as well as on the networking side, you never know who you're going to meet at this event that's going to help take your business or what you're doing to the next level. They may have that one thing that you need. So community is so important that way, whether it's a woman-ran business, a man-ran business. We really do need to be coming together and helping each other right now. This is the
do.
most important time than any other time because we've definitely
Yes.
been set back.
Yes,
So
we have.
the only
We
way we
have.
gonna get back up there is with each other. That's one thing
Yes.
we are a resilient people.
Yes, we
so I
are.
love that you're
We are.
basing this conference as well on resilience,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
we are going to have to be resilient in this era that we're in right
Yeah,
now.
these coming
So,
days, you
right.
gotta learn how to be resilient and
Exactly.
connect.
And connect,
that
grow your
part.
community, because
Yes.
you're gonna. These may be people that you need to call on. So
Yeah, it's true.
definitely. So what are you hoping that women walk away with after this event?
Oh, it is my hope that women will walk away encouraged, inspired, knowing that they already possess on the inside what it is that can help them be successful. It is my desire that they will rise up, because I had an experience where I was told to dial myself down at the VA early in my career because I was passionate, and they took the passion as aggression.
Oh gosh.
And so learning
always mismistaken us. Always.
always, and it made me angry, but I had to have someone, thank God for my husband, I had to have him help me shift the perspective, right? And then even in ministry, women are always told to dial down, and you got to remember that when that was written, it was written at a very different time than where we're sitting in. And when you think about it, when you think about the spirit is neither male or female.
Right.
And it is the last day, and he's pouring out his spirit. So he's given all of us the opportunity, whether you're male or female, to do his work. So I want them to rise up knowing that they can. I want them to rise up knowing that they have the confidence. That's what I want them to walk away with, and to know they're not by themselves. This is an entire community, and everyone in the community won't be present. It doesn't mean that they're not community. It just means that you got to connect, right? And so being inspired, we're going to have unity and community. And that particular class is going to help women learn how to connect. Because some women don't know how to come into a room and sit down and start connecting. Right? So I want them to walk away with some tools and be equipped for the next thing that they're going to walk into.
I love that. I used to be one of those women that I've never been really a social butterfly. Always, you probably can't tell, but I'm naturally a little shy. So when I walk into a room full of people, I'm not the most social unless I recognize somebody in there. So I just kind of sit off to myself and wait for someone to come and talk to me. And as I got into business, it really pushed me out there a lot more to be bold. To be honest, even though we have this podcast, I'm still getting used to just being on camera and to being in those spaces, and so it's something that you definitely have to work out. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. And as they say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So you have to be able to talk to people and let them know what you're doing. And also, in order to network and to build those relationships, you have to kind of put yourself out there a little bit.
Oh, you do.
And it can be a little intimidating at times, but I love that there are women like you that are actually teaching the class, on how to put yourself out there a little bit more, how to stand out in a room, how to walk into a room and own it and speak to people and not be so shy or expecting people to come up to you, because I was very guilty of that. So,
and
I love that you said that.
And they don't believe it, but the reality is I'm an introvert.
But
it took Jesus to make me do what I do, right? And so I can't hide. Right. I would prefer to be behind the scene, that's where I'd like to be, right? But when he calls us,
you got to put yourself out there, definitely.
You do.
So for everybody that's watching, how can women attend, sponsor, or get involved?
Thank you. Yes. So women can attend by going on to the website, and really, if you
and what is the website?
www.iReferHerPDX.org. And if you go into the website now until August 15th, the tickets are $135. After that, it's $150, and really, this is not a money maker. It is to help women. And so that price includes their banquet ticket. It includes all the material, lunch on Saturday. It's a wealth, right? The entertainment that's going to be in the space is going to be phenomenal. And then if you would like to nominate a woman for the Resilience Award until August 1st, you can also, if you go on the website, there is a tab specific to the award that you could submit a woman for that Resilience Award.
Awesome. So I'll put the links on here. I'll also be sharing it on my page, on my Instagram, as well as on my Facebook and my TikTok account. So if you guys are looking for me, I'm Tanisha, the Real Estate Diva on Facebook. You can also go to the Black Estate Mag, and it will be on there as well. Same thing on Instagram and on my TikTok. So hope to see you guys registering in numbers. This is going to be an amazing event, so I really hope to see you guys there. And make sure you guys get your tickets, and also think of who you could be nominating. This is, I really feel like just that encouragement from other women, for a woman that wasn't expecting it, is going to be amazing, and it's going to be very encouraging for her. So let's refer her. So I want to thank you so much, for Katina, for joining us. Pastor Katina, for joining us. It's been such a pleasure. I love everything that you're doing. Continue to just keep that same light and that same glow and strength about yourself, and that energy to get out there and do what you do, because it's a lot, you know, and you work with a very kind of a vulnerable community. So I really commend you for the work that you're doing in our community, and I cannot wait to be at iReferHer. And again, thank you so much.
Blessings to you.
You guys look out for Katina, and also Thy Kingdom Come International. If you guys want to visit their church, make sure you guys go by and visit their church and get that spiritual healing. We all need that. So
we do.
It's been a wonderful episode. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining the Black Estate Podcast, and we will see you guys next week.